Welcome mathematicians to this third video on statistics, and in today's video we'll be looking at finding the mode from a set of data. So you have in front of you on the screen a collection of numbers ranging from 1 up to 13. They're all over the place, and they've shown here that the most frequently displayed number is the number 9, and that represents the mode. So in a nice simple way of understanding mode, the modal number is the one that occurs the most frequent. So this is video 3 of a sequence of statistics videos. I'd recommend before you watch this mode video that you go back and have a quick look over finding the mean and finding the median. It will make sense in terms of the process and the examples used. But onwards to finding the mode. This is James. It's his 16th birthday and he's having a party with family and friends. Now James wants to know what's the modal age at the party. Steps for finding out the mode: list the values, that is the ages in this case. Number 2, we wish to identify the value, in this case the age, that occurs the most frequently. Now you can just look at these numbers and see that 15 occurs 1, 2, 3, 4 times. In fact, that is the mode. However, let's go through a process. So I've set up here a frequency table and I'm just going to run through them. So first of all, there are 2 people at the party whose age is 14. There's 4 that have the age of 15, there's 2 at 16, 2 that's 18, 1 that's 20, 2 for 22, 1 for 30, 1 for 35, and at the end, the 2 oldies, there's 2 at the age of 70. So looking at this table, this frequency table, we can clearly see that the most commonly occurring or frequently occurring age at this party is 15. So to answer the question, the mode age at the party is 15 years old. Let's look at a few examples. Example 1, this is Roger. He plays cricket in a local T20 competition, and he makes the following scores over a 12-match season. And our task is to calculate Roger's mode score for the season. Step 1, list all the values, and that's been given to us. Step 2, identify the values, that is the runs that occurs the most frequently. So let's go through this and generate a frequency table. So first of all, the lowest score was 5, and that occurs once. Next score, so I'm putting these scores in order, just easier to look at. 9 occurs once, 11 once, 18 once, 27 once, 35 occurs on 3 separate occasions, so that goes in as a frequency of 3, 42 once, 51 once, and 63 finally occurs twice. So here's our frequency table for the runs that Roger scored in a season. As you can see, the most frequently occurring is 35. That occurred 3 times rather than 63 that only occurred twice. So we can say that Roger's mode score, that is runs, for the season was 35. Example number 2, the example of the Opals who won the 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medal. And we're looking at the height of the 12 players that made up the squad for that particular year. So the task is to work out the Opals mode height. Step 1 is to list the values of the heights. We've got that in our table, that's done. And step 2 is to identify the value, that is the height that occurs the most frequently. Again, you can probably look at this and pick which height occurs the most frequently, but let's generate a frequency table just to be sure. So the smallest height was 1.71 meters, and that occurred once. 1.78 meters had a frequency of 3. 3 players had that particular height. 1.8 meters occurred once. 1.85 once. 1.86 once. 1.88 meters occurred twice. 1.93 occurred once. 1.94 occurred once. And finally, a height of 2.03 meters occurred once. So we can see from this table clearly the most common or frequently occurring height is the 1.78 meters, with 3 players having that particular height. So the Opal modal height or mode height was 1.78 meters. Our final example, a group of 42 Year 10 students were asked how many times they went to the movies last summer holidays, and we have our information summarized in the table to the right. So our task is to calculate the mode number of movies watched over last summer holidays. First of all, step 1, list the values of the movies. That's already presented in our table. Step 2, identify the value, that is the movies that occurs the most frequently. So the number of students, that could easily be replaced with the heading of frequency. We now have a frequency table. Now clearly, there were 10 occasions where students went to the movies 4 times. Okay, so this is clearly the most frequently occurring viewing of movies over that summer period. So the answer to this question, the mode number of movies watched over the summer holiday period was 4. I hope you've learned something from this video. Calculating the mode from a sample of numbers is quite simple. By the way, if there's more than one, you can have multimodal answers. It is possible to have more than one answer for calculating the mode. If you've enjoyed this video, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, Thanks for watching.